Goldie says the lower birth rate in 2022 will have long-term effects, saying in a couple of decades, there could be a shortage of young adult workers.
The pandemic led to a lot of job loss, particularly in-person jobs were changed. So people that were working in face-to-face jobs were all of a sudden either remote working or maybe not working at all.
Families we spoke with also say rental rate increases affect families with more kids since they need more space. The CDC also says 2020 data shows that women in their 30s who are more financially stable are now more likely in the US to have a child than women in their 20s.
Welcome to Adults Say the Wildest Things. Back again with another video. We got
E, you know what it is?
We got your boy Klutch. So we got a nice topic for you. It's one of those topics that's gonna be one where it's like some food for thought. We have Elon Musk here talking about the decline in birth rates. Now I'm gonna play this video and O and I here are gonna break it down real quick and what we think the reason is as to why birth rates have been declining. So we're gonna start right here real quick.
That's why I'm always banging the baby drum. Cause I'm like, man, civilization's gonna, collapse. And
no big deal.
Yeah. I'm like, where do you think people come from? Like some magical people factory?
The stork. The stork.
The stork, the baby store. I mean, like, they gotta come from somewhere, and they take ages to grow. So unless like the thing that tends to happen is like once the birth rate starts going down, it seems to accelerate in a downward trajectory. Mm-hmm. Like Japan is leading indicator here. It's insane.
They're about to collapse.
No,
population
like
collapse.
Nutty. They lost 600,000 people last year. That negative 600,000 last
Wow.
year. And Japan is like pretty close to being the most, like their life expectancy is like 85. Mm-hmm. So like that's the only thing, that was what was keeping the population plummeting before. But now despite having like the world's longest lifespan, they're still losing population.
Oh, wow.
6 seats.
So after that video, I was just thinking about it. I was like, why is it that there's a situation where birth rates are plummeting so much? So Elon Musk goes on to say that 600,000 people from Japan of last year was, I guess, not being born. So what are your thoughts on that? Why do you think that people are not having babies anymore? Like,
I think it really is a societal change in life that we're going through. Like if you were born at a certain age, you realize life is different now than what it is before. And men and women are not agreeing on the levels that they're not cohabitating. Everybody's more of an individual. The way you meet, the way you hook up, you don't spend time, you don't bond, you're on your phones, you're individual. So there's a lot of factors that are going into it, but a lot of bottom line that really looks at it, people are not socializing how they used to.
yeah.
See what I'm saying? So you're from a distance and you're understanding, and every information you get about something, it seems like men and women are just at their head. So the mating is just not happening as it is.
So you're saying that they're not getting along well? Like, do you think it's because women are independent now? They want to get the bag. They don't want to have kids.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of things where now the relationship is not the focus. It's more of an individual focus.
Like selfish.
You know what I'm saying? And in any relationship and anything you have, if you don't got a squad, it don't work. You know, you need to have a team where everybody's playing off each other. Everybody knows their roles and how to play. Because now, if you want the women that want to be the bread maker, if the guy, and like, you know what, the roles are not set to whatever it is, it's not going to work. And right now, you can't even get to that stage of marriage.
Yeah.
Because people are just at each other's necks and it's like, okay, men are this and women are this and women. And the information that we're seeing on a day-to-day basis, rap videos, this, that, it's just, it doesn't seem connected. It's not bringing people together. It's a, it's a distant thing that's going on.
Yeah, like music has changed from like the 80s and 70s. They used to talk about love. And now they're talking about WAP and come here now, let's smash. If you're not down, get out.
Yeah,
like
you know
so
what I
it's
mean? So it's men, we're programmed like that. We're programmed for sex. We've been away a certain way. Situation is now that women is programmed for sex, it's like it's becoming different. You know, it's a different situation than what it is, because now every woman that's out there, for most men that like women anyway, they have something a man wants.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the women have the choice of what they want and what they want to do situation is. And like I said, the information that's coming in, what people are listening to, it's making decisions, and I think it's infecting how people are gonna, sleeping and planning and doing things together.
And it's crazy too. It kind of worries me because if there's a lack of births, then what happens in the next 10, 20 years is just gonna be like our generation, and then no one, and then it's who's gonna be taking care of the younger children. And then, so my theory is though, I think that girls are looking for or trying to smash the 1% guys, the guys with the money and the cars and all that stuff. And that's why birth rates are kind of going down, because they're not smashing the average guy. Nope. Guys who are making 40K, 30, they want the bag. So if they're gonna smash, they want to smash a guy with money rather than smash a guy that's average, who's working as a plumber. I don't know, but plumbers make good money.
I think what it is like, it's just a false pretense of what a relationship is based for. Now, a relationship is based on material now. If you don't got material things, you cannot get a woman for a situation, whatever it is. You can get a woman, but it ain't gonna be the one if you're choosing. You know what I mean? And if you're not bringing a material thing to the table, then there's a lack of communication. Like a girl, you're not even getting the communication to the girl if you're not at a certain status or whatever it is. And by girls doing that, you're eliminating more than half the men.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So, and then the men itself, those guys that have that are not asked to do what those girls want those, because they have options. They're available as their options. So you can't make a rich guy settle down if he doesn't want to. It's his choice of what he's gonna do, because at the end of the day, he has options to go do what he wants.
Exactly.
And they're not gonna mix. A rich woman and usually a rich guy doesn't usually mix. You know what I mean? Because you don't have the time. If you're about your money, you got to spend time to get your money, and you can't spend time on the relationship. So somewhere along the lines, it's gonna go this way. Someone's gonna intervene. Someone's gonna do something. And then with this internet, there's everybody coming. If you got money, everybody's coming at you. So that's just really what it comes down to.
And it's crazy that you said that, because there's actually a study shows that there's more virgin men than females. So that tells you alone that the women are smashing the 1% guys, the guys who are 6 feet, 6-pack, 6 figures. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of girls eliminate guys that could be good for them because either the physical or the material things are not there. And then by the time they get to those guys, the guys that they want, the guys have options. They be like, all right, but I got another option. So you're not a special case to a situation with somebody with that kind of material, any type of money, any type of things like that. You're not going to be special to those kind of people unless you knew them before they had this situation. You know what I mean?
And I don't want to make this all women's fault why the birth rates, but I also think that guys now, they're more afraid to approach girls. So they're going to be, I think they're more feminized. Like I was actually talking to a friend of mine at a basketball game. And I was telling them, I was like, the next time you go into a supermarket, look at the labels. And what is the first thing you see? Or not the first thing you see, but one thing you notice is soya. Soya is in everything. It's literally taking men's testosterone. Testosterone in men has been the lowest it's ever been. And if you look at the ingredient soya, it turns into a hormone that kind of kills or brings down, suppresses the testosterone in men. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, I don't want to get too conspiracy theories and say the government, but it's possible.
I'm not going to say who's doing what, but when you put everything in together, like you put soy, so that's food. Then you put relationships, the anything that's going on. Then you see everything's a divide. Everything seems like it's going that way, what Elon Musk is talking about. I don't think there's ever one thing that can stop a birth rate. I think there's a lot of connected things that are going in different ways that are, that are equaling why the birth rate are dropping, and that's just in the States. We don't know what's really going on here, but I presume it's going on all over the world.
And that's the thing, like I know people are becoming more selfish too.
So that is,
I gotta do me, I gotta get the bag, I gotta.
But society is letting you, if you don't be that way, then you're gonna drown. You know what I mean? You have to look out for yourself right now in the situation too. And that's a lot of things where it's a divide, because if you're not looking out for yourself and you're looking out for others, those others are probably not looking out for you, because society's too tough right now, bro. Like, gas is $9 a gallon. Like, what are we talking about here? You can't go across the street without burning half a tank of gas. So like, it's like, so that kind of, if you weren't getting it before, it's gonna be hard to get it now. The way the situation is. So if you're not in the 1%, and you have sex problems as a male, it's the reason why we're seeing females. It's not females' fault. Right. But males always want sex. Females know males always want sex, and they're in control of the sex. Because if you weren't, we'd be smashing all day. This is what the situation it is. So as long as you're in power and the female knows that's what you're after, anybody, I don't care what in power, the power's power. And they have it over you to what you're gonna do.
So now that we've kind of identified the problem, what are solutions? How can we get people to start increase the birth rate?
I think communication, constant. I think communication now is more relevant than anything else, because I think everybody has some type of source of information that may be wrong or that benefits them, but that might be right. Like it's gonna be hard to find press where two people are on the same page that got the same information, because people are not talking anymore. People are relying on internets and stuff and everything
texting,
else. Texting to sit down here. You're not interacting. When you were a kid, go outside, go interact with your neighbor, go this and that. You're always interacting as human beings. Now with social media and everything came, a like means something more than a communication.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? So now it's interpreting your own thoughts instead of you communicating what the hell you're talking about. That creates a divide and disconnect. Like, you know what I mean? There's a couple things on the internet we're talking about. I don't know if we'll talk about it later, but the girl that didn't get the food for the kid. The situation with the situation like that, right? Where it's like, at first I was all like, this girl's mad, how can you sit here? And then I thought about it, I was like, all right, I put it into perspective. If she can't afford situation is, and the one kid eats and the rest of the kid can't eat, you make an arrangement, but you don't embarrass and go about the way you're doing it. That lack of communication led to nobody eating. To what the situation was, a loss to a situation, right? Or if she would have came out and said, yo bro, I get you're being a dad, but if you give my one kid situation and the rest of the kids can't eat when I can't afford it, it's gonna look bad on the rest of the kids. So take the kid out, go do something. Make it, talking communication. Instead of putting them on blast and putting them on the internet, choosing sides, and now you're divided. The girl's horrible, now the man's horrible, and that's the defect of the birth rate right there. You know what I mean?
And when people see that, they get traumatized. I don't want to have kids, and
then they choose sides. I'm with the girl. No, I'm with the guy. I'm with this. I'm with that. And then you don't even know what the hell's going on. But you at odds with a girl that chooses a different opinion than you. You may not even talk to that single girl no more because of that situation.
You know what I think will change things? I think once the government gets involved in terms of promoting it, just like big companies too, not just the government, but big companies, they can start doing commercials of healthy families. Like remember like the Cosby Show and those, it represented healthy families. I think once we start prioritizing those kind of images, I think people were inspired to have those kind of family setting.
And I don't want to go too deep, but you got to ask yourself a question. Why are those things gone? You see what I'm saying? So like if we grew up on those things and those things were working, why is there a fundamental change that's going on where those things are not, you're not seeing family TV shows anymore. You're seeing transgender kids, you're seeing gay kids, you're not seeing combinations of family going on anymore. You're seeing a direct message that's being pushed on the internet if you're paying attention to what it is now. If you're not smart enough to see what it is, you could be influenced by what's going on. But I think those type of things all have the effect, and I think that's what's making it hard for everybody to come together because you're constantly seeing the divide.
Well, you and I had a talk earlier, and you said something really powerful. Like I think what you just said, why things change now, but I think you said something along the lines of people who do right get shamed or something along those lines.
Yeah, so if you do right, it seems like you're being judged wrong.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? To what the situation actually is. And now it's kind of hard to figure out what's right or what's wrong.
Yes.
Because like I said, if you grew up in a certain era, you were taught this way was correct. Now we're in this era and this way is correct, and the two are contrasting. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense to you. Now you're trying to figure your way out what's going on. But if you look at it from where we grew up, when you said something and you bring people together, that was usually a good thing.
Good thing, yeah.
Now it's a bad thing to what's going on. So, and I guess people are just going the way society goes.
And there's no accountability.
None.
If somebody does something wrong, it's like, oh, it's because of him why I did what I did. No accountability. Like your life could be in a certain situation because of the decisions you made. Or like, if you decided to do XYZ, it ends up XYZ. So you can't really, like the girl in that video that you were saying, she said, oh, you know what you're getting into when you lay down with me. Okay, well, you should have known before you had those other kids, to have more kids with him.
Like I'm saying, when you say stuff like that, so why don't you know what he was about? Why does he have to automatically know what only you're about with the situation? And that's what I mean by the disconnected communication. You're upset because you couldn't feed your children, so you took it out on him when there was a better way to understand, to deal with it, where the kid could have ate, or people could, you'd be like, you know what, instead of buying a combo, yo, here's another $4, buy a pizza, everybody eats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But compromise, but don't sit there and say, I got him, and show it and embarrass him. Now you look like an idiot. Now you look like an idiot. You know what I mean? Because you're not trying to compromise anything. You're just trying to be divisive and let people figure out what it is. And now, those type of things are what's creating where men and women are choosing sides.
And it's creating a worse society because all that yelling, you don't think those kids are hearing that in the house? Her calling her dad an N-word and all this, like, that's not a good look.
That's not at all. And then I look at it in the sense where, look what gets banned on the internet.
Yeah.
Look what gets loud on what you get to see on the internet.
Yes. That's,
You see what I'm saying? Like, the right stuff get banned.
Yeah.
And the wrong stuff get promoted.
Yeah.
So we're in a topsy-turvy world where it's like, it's kind of iffy because you don't want to say stuff that, you know what I mean, that can get you canceled or anything else in general. But if you've seen both sides of it, then you understand, like, yo, there's a different world we're living in, and it kind of quickly changed without us not really just kind of living it. They're kind of living in our moment.
Yeah, I don't think things will ever go back. Will they get better? I don't know. I think morality's dead.
Yeah.
I think morals. I think if it's not dead, it's dying. Yeah. And I don't think it will get better. I think things will improve here and there, but
it's gonna be tough to say it gets better because the generation that's coming now, they're worse. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the heroes that are on there are some wild individuals that kids are looking up to that are being influenced by, like, drill music. I understand drill music because I come from it.
Yeah, the beat's nice too.
I ain't gonna knock it. I understand what them dudes is doing. But how does drill music get published on every YouTube and all that kind of, every across the world? Every country got drill music that they're putting all across the world. These kids are killing each other. Yeah. But anybody talking positive gets muted off the net. Yeah. And it's like, yo, you gotta, who's controlling it to do all of that? Yeah. That's bigger than me or here or there, but those are the things that are going on in society that are allowing people to be divided.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, hopefully the birth rates change. I'm hoping that things will get better in terms of,
and this is a personal saying to any women that y'all's gonna see this, start excuse my French, but as a wife and anything else in general, if you are having problems at home, start messing around with your husband like when you first met him. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's when you guys were the most connected because you guys were smashing. He was understanding your language and you were understanding his.
Exactly.
When you start getting into personal things and start doing things that don't make sense, then you got to understand, like, yo, if you want to keep a man happy, it's very simple. And they will do the same for you. But if you want them to do all the way and then you give a little, it's not going to work back and forth now. You know what I mean? So it's a real team thing. A sex to a man is like a clarity. It's a moment of clarity. It's almost a form of communication without it being communicated. If he's all bottled up, nobody's going to be happy. Then you're going to have to go out, then the kid suffers, everybody's situation is men and women are not. This is where you're going to get the birth defect. And you're gonna get unhappiness at home. Simple.
And that's why I go back to the selfishness because people want what they want. Well, if he's not doing that for me, I won't give him that and this and that. But again, you have to be able to give and take. Like you can't expect one thing. If the guy wants to make love to his wife or a girlfriend or whatever, then he needs to understand, okay, I gotta help her out around the house. Maybe she'll be in the mood to, you know.
You gotta make it easy for the situation. That's why it's a team up situation. Especially when you have kids. You only have a certain amount of time.
Exactly.
So when you have a certain amount of time and you sitting there and then you tripping because the kids are stressing you out, then you go to work and you come home, then you tired, you ain't gonna have no time to be sexing and doing all that kind of stuff. So it gotta be a late, yo, I'm coming home late, get the dinner started, I got that, throw the lob, get them ready, boom, boom. And by the time you coordinate and do everything, all that, your teammate to put these guys to sleep. And when they get to sleep, if you don't have enough energy, and you be like, you think it's only a man's reward for f***ing. Once you sit there and be like, okay, the men are only benefited from it's over.
It's over.
We're not, the relationship's over because at the end, it's like, what are you talking about here? The sex is for you. You know what I mean? It's for you humans need sex. So if you're gonna stop the sex because you're not feeling well or you're feeling a particular way, we don't care. Like, you know what I mean? You better dig in. If you're married, you better dig in because we committed so we can always have sex. Not so that you can take it away and put it on punishment like we're kids. We're not your kid. You can't do those type of things. And in men, at the same time, while we're talking about women, men got to do the things that women like, bro. You got to be able to give it a 50-50 so you can get the boy. You know what I mean? You're still working for it. You know, your situation is to a girl because a girl got to feel good inside. So you got to do those things that team up. But if you're not on the same team, it doesn't work, man. And that's what's creating, I think, the whole defect of the whole situation. 'Cause we're
Yeah,
not treating
it's
them.
like you said, the girl, it's the feelings.
Yeah.
It's all feelings for them. If you make them feel good, then you're more likely to. But again, it's almost like they need that emotional roller coaster to kind of be engaged. Because if you don't, if things are always good, she's gonna get bored.
Bored with it,
yeah,
man.
and then
It's
she
like-
don't want to, you know.
It's like, honestly, when you're living life and you're saying routine, you get in a routine.
Yes.
But it's not you're not supposed to stay in that routine. You're supposed to understand the routine and flexibility and work because you understand the time that you're doing. But if you stay in the routine, it gets boring, bro.
Yeah, it
You
does,
just get
yeah.
repetitive. You can't have sex at the same time. It's spontaneous. Like if you're a wife and you're uncomfortable with sex, I guarantee your marriage is not good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sex is that important to men where it's to a point where once you decide to say you're taking it away or you do something else, you're creating a divide. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like taking food away from a baby.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
You don't
You know,
do that,
no.
yeah.
You married, the situation is if a man, I don't care how much time, you can give me a timeout, say something, but you got to make sure that y'all are getting it in rapidly.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, it's over.
Yeah. Shoot, man, this one's real, man. This topic's real. I think in terms of people, I guess, facilitating a healthy relationship, I think that might come full circle. I think guys are starting to know their worth with all this, you know, especially with Kevin Samuels and all these other guys. You got Andrew Tate and you know, Fresh and Fit. Not a lot of people like them, but a lot of these talking points are coming around, and I think guys are starting to know their worth. And I think women are becoming more masculine.
Yeah.
And I think that they're gonna eventually, it's gonna come a time where the younger girls are gonna see the girls that are 30, 40, and they're gonna complain and say, look, I should have prioritized family and marriage rather than the bag. And I think that's when things are gonna start to shift. The younger girls are gonna start to look up at their mothers, and then
I think what's scary is that if it doesn't go that way, females are gonna go to other females.
it's already happening.
It's already happening that way. People are going to the same sex to get the same. It's everybody thinks it's okay. Yeah, a person's gay and this that, and then you think okay, whatever you think of a gay person because whatever you were taught. Most people that are gay or situation are going for the mental.
Yeah.
That person thinks like them.
Yeah.
So if you say it's unfortunate, it's the same sex. But as long as you're not getting stressed out and you're in a situation to a point where a woman understands a woman and a man understands a man,
Yeah.
when you start getting to those type of things and a man and a woman cannot do that same thing, that's the problem where we're at right now. You know what I mean? Because men and men, men understand men and women understand women. But, you know what I mean? You can't reproduce, you can't recreate with the same sex type of situation. Now, I don't know what technology is going on there,
but now, they're starting that men can start,
You know what I mean?
So,
you know what I mean? It gets right now. You just have to have a mental stability of understanding what you want because you can easily be influenced either which way, and especially as kids that are learning at an early age, like a real early age about all this stuff that's going on. It's a lot to deal with, right? So.
yeah, well, we'll see. So I thank y'all for joining. Next time we're gonna have another great topic for y'all. Continue to like, continue to subscribe, and we'll be back with another one.
Yes, sir.
Peace.